Back in 1962, tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union were sky high. People were freaking out over rumors that the Soviets might drop a nuclear bomb at any moment. Americans were so scared they started building bomb shelters in their backyards. Dr. Calvin was one of them. He put in extra effort, stocking his underground bunker with enough food and supplies to last for decades. One night, Calvin and his pregnant wife, Helen, were hosting a party at their house. Everything was going fine until a news bulletin interrupted the fun. President Kennedy came on TV, announcing a secret mission against the Soviets. No real details were given, but Calvin panicked. Convinced war was about to break out, he kicked everyone out and rushed Helen down into the bunker. Right after they locked themselves in, a plane flying over the city experienced a mechanical failure. It crashed straight into their house. Inside the bunker, Calvin felt the shaking and heard the crash. Thinking the war had begun, he sealed the bunker door for good. He explained to Helen that it was on a timed lock. No way to open it from inside. It would only unlock automatically after 35 years, the time he believed it would take for nuclear fallout to settle. When authorities showed up to inspect the wreckage, they found no sign of life and assumed Calvin and Helen had died in the crash. Life underground began. Calvin settled in, but Helen hated it. Soon, her water broke, and with Calvin's help, she gave birth to a healthy baby boy, Adam. Days turned into years, and Adam grew into a smart and curious child. Calvin taught him everything he could: science, math, boxing, French, Latin, even how to play the stock market. Helen taught him how to cook, clean, and dance. Calvin also passed on his prized baseball card collection and tried to teach Adam about sports, though Adam had a hard time picturing huge crowds of people. Both parents raised Adam with strict manners, never swearing around him. He grew up extremely polite, but also very sheltered and naive. They developed a daily routine: pretend shopping in the mini-mart they'd built, fake fishing in a tank, gardening, building extra rooms, and hanging out in their lounge reading books or playing games. Life became weirdly normal. Above ground, the land where their house once stood changed hands many times. It became a diner, then a pizza joint, and eventually a nightclub. In 1995, Adam turned 33. His parents gave him homemade gifts, and when he blew out the candles, he wished to find true love. Helen reminded them they only had 2 years left in the bunker. Calvin admitted he'd actually missed living down there, which drove Helen to scream out her frustration in another room. Finally, in 1997, 35 years passed, and the door unlocked automatically. The family was thrilled. But Calvin insisted on going out first to make sure it was safe. Wearing a radiation suit, he took the elevator up and emerged into what was now a rundown building occupied by homeless people. One of them, Melker, fainted when he saw Calvin glowing in his suit. Calvin stepped outside and was horrified by what he saw. Graffiti everywhere, people carrying guns like toys, adult stores filled with disturbing merchandise, and strange-looking people speaking in ways he couldn't understand. Scared out of his mind, he rushed back to the bunker. Though he told Helen and Adam the air was safe to breathe, he warned them the world above was still a post-apocalyptic nightmare filled with mutants and danger. Calvin decides it's best for the family to stay in the bunker, but that's the last straw for Helen. She finally loses it. She yells at him, venting about how fed up she is with being stuck underground and how badly Adam needs to experience the outside world and nature. Calvin refuses to change his mind, and the stress of the argument causes him to have a heart attack. With Calvin now sick and their supplies running low, Helen makes a tough decision. She's going to send Adam outside to stock up on enough food to last them a few more years. She gives him some cash, a shopping list, and tells him to stay at the Holiday Inn. She also tells him to keep an eye out for a nice, non-mutated girl. Before Adam leaves, Calvin warns him to steer clear of the adult video store, claiming it has dangerous radiation levels. Once Adam finishes packing, he heads to the surface, and he's immediately shocked to find that Melker has set up a tiny shrine around the elevator, worshipping Calvin's family as divine beings. Stepping outside for the first time, Adam is thrilled by everything: the blue sky, buildings, trees, and especially other people, even if they all think he's strange. He's so overwhelmed with excitement that he says hello to everyone he passes, but in his eagerness, he accidentally uses an outdated racial slur while greeting a black woman, simply because he's excited to see someone with a different skin tone. As he walks past the adult video store, he covers his nose and warns passersby to stay away. Then he gets on a bus, and the movement of the vehicle terrifies him. When he tries to make conversation with the passengers, his outdated way of speaking just confuses them more, making him seem even weirder. Eventually, Adam makes it to the grocery store and starts picking up everything on the list. The butcher tells him that if he places a big enough order, they can deliver it to his home. That's when Adam realizes he has no idea how to get back to the bunker. Panicked, he runs out of the store and spends the whole day hopping on different buses, searching for the right location, without any luck. Running low on money, Adam goes into a hobby shop and tries to sell his dad's old baseball cards. The shop owner recognizes how rare and valuable they are, but instead of telling Adam the truth, he tries to buy the whole collection for just $500. Before Adam can accept, the store's assistant, Eve, steps in and calls out the scam. She tells Adam that each card is worth between $4,000 and $6,000. Then she quits her job on the spot, calling her boss a crook.
This one mantle card right here, worth $6,000.
Get out of here.
No, you get out of here.
You're fired, you know that, huh?
I quit.
Oh, no.
Adam is blown away by her boldness and instantly starts crushing on her. After leaving the shop, Adam asks Eve to take him to the Holiday Inn. At first, she refuses and tries to get away from him. But when Adam offers her 2 baseball cards as payment, she changes her mind. During the ride, Adam chooses only oldies on the car radio, which Eve finds really odd. Once they arrive, Eve drops him off without saying much. Adam checks into his room and is amazed by the view from the 18th floor. He spends the night enjoying the luxury of color television and wakes up super early to watch the sunrise for the first time. The next morning, Eve shows up at the hotel feeling guilty. She returns the 2 baseball cards, saying she didn't feel right getting paid so much for such a simple task. As she's about to leave, Adam stops her with a proposal. He'll pay her to be his assistant and help him collect everything they need to restock the bunker. Eve agrees.
Sure.
They go on a massive shopping spree, buying enough supplies to last 2 more years, even hiring trucks to transport everything. During all this, Adam surprises Eve by telling her that he's also looking for a wife.
Lord, bless this food we are about to receive. And bless my mom, and bless my dad, and bless my new friend Eve.
Amen.
Later, Eve brings Adam back to her place. Where he meets her roommate, Troy. Troy picks up on how fascinated Adam is by modern technology and starts asking tons of questions. Adam lies and says he's from Alaska, visiting on a business trip. Meanwhile, back in the bunker, Helen's curiosity gets the best of her. She takes the elevator up, but as soon as she sees Melker and his friends acting all cult-like, she turns right around and goes back down. The next day, Troy decides Adam desperately needs a style update. He gives him a full wardrobe makeover, transforming Adam into a total heartthrob. Over the following days, Eve and Troy introduce Adam to all kinds of new experiences, dancing to current music, skateboarding, even visiting the ocean. Adam is so overwhelmed with joy he dives straight into the water fully clothed. He also attends a baseball game for the first time and finally understands why his dad loved the sport so much. One afternoon, it starts to rain, and Adam stands there in pure wonder. When Eve comes to check on him, he hugs her and tells her his dad would have called this moment a miracle. Later that evening, Eve and Troy take Adam to a swing dance club to help him meet someone special. They tell him to just be himself. The women at the club are instantly drawn to Adam. His kind heart, respectful behavior, and good looks make him stand out. One woman, who happens to be Eve's rival, quickly catches Adam's eye, and they hit it off, which sparks jealousy in Eve. She pulls him aside and tells him straight up he deserves a sweet, genuine girl, not someone trashy. Later, Adam asks another girl to dance, and the two light up the dance floor with his surprisingly impressive dance moves, earning the crowd's attention. Eve tries to keep her jealousy in check and strikes up a conversation with her ex-boyfriend, who starts mocking Adam and tries to provoke a fight. But Adam keeps his cool and uses his boxing skills to intimidate the guy.
Adam!
I'm sorry! He was gonna... I'm sorry.
Sending him running. Fed up with all the drama, Eve storms out of the club and heads home alone. When Troy shows up, he tells her that Adam actually left with Eve's rival. That's when it hits her. She's in love with Adam.
Well.
She rushes to find him, but just as she jumps into her car, she's startled by a knock on the window and falls. It's Adam. He helps her up, brings her inside and gently tends to her scrape. While cleaning her wound, Adam tells her he couldn't stop thinking about her, even when he was with other girls. He confesses his feelings, and they finally share their first kiss. With their feelings out in the open, Adam decides it's time to tell Eve the whole truth about his family, where he came from, and his desire to marry her so she can live with him in the bunker. But Eve thinks he's lost his mind and that he's just been good at hiding it this whole time. Horrified, she kicks him out. The next day, Troy takes Adam around town and teaches him how to drive. As they're driving, Adam spots the adult video store he saw earlier and follows the road, eventually finding the building that sits above his old bunker. There, he discovers that Melker has created an entire religion centered on the elevator. Thrilled, Adam rushes off to share the discovery with Eve, only to find 2 psychiatrists waiting for him at her place. Adam pretends to go along with them, but the moment he sees a chance, he bolts. One doctor gives chase while the other tries to call the cops, until Eve steps in and realizes she made a mistake. Just then, Adam runs past her and slips her his hotel key, asking her to pay the bill using the baseball cards. He hops into his rental truck and drives off, accidentally sideswiping the psychiatrist's car on the way out. Later, Eve and Troy make their way to Adam's hotel room. Inside, they find a bunch of items clearly from the 1960s, along with Calvin's stock certificates, which are now worth millions. That's when they realize Adam had been telling the truth all along. Meanwhile, Adam returns to the bunker and embraces his parents after being gone for 2 weeks. He tells them the outside world is beautiful and brings in the rest of the supplies, which are being carried down by Melker and his followers. Back on the surface, Eve is desperate to find Adam, so Troy takes her to the adult video store. They start stomping around on the floor, hoping they'll stumble across the hidden bunker. But of course, they come up empty. Just as they're about to leave, they spot Adam heading into the neighboring building.
Adam?
Eve runs up to him, throws her arms around him, and kisses him. Adam happily invites her to meet his parents. Calvin and Helen instantly like Eve, and the group sits down for a nice family dinner. Calvin even gives Adam the talk about the birds and the bees. But before making any major decisions, Adam asks his parents for a couple of months to prepare. Over the following weeks, Adam and Eve sell Calvin's old stocks and use the money to build a beautiful new house out in the country, designed to look exactly like the one Adam grew up in. Melker helps out too, having finally cleaned up his act and sworn off drinking. When everything is finished, Adam brings his parents to the new house so they can slowly adjust to modern life. Later, while Helen and Eve are in the kitchen preparing dinner, Adam pulls Calvin aside and finally tells him the full truth. There was never a nuclear war. The bomb was actually a plane crash, and the Soviet Union has since fallen apart. Calvin, ever the skeptic, refuses to believe it, and immediately starts planning to build another bunker, just in case. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.